Yo, what's going on, you guys? It's Negan from Vikings War of Clans here, bringing you another tutorial video about attacking and defending setups for regular day-to-day fighting, and also when you're hitting the pop, throne, or towers. So let's go. All right, so let's take a look at attacking and defending first. There are a few different types of sets out there. There are sets for when you first start playing the game. There's sets when you've been playing for a little while. And once you have your stronghold basically all set up, there are sets, two different sets for attacking and for defending. And there's like level 1 stronghold gear and then level 2 stronghold gear. So we're going to kind of break those down and take a look. So this is a video for basically people that are just starting off and then that work their way up and get to possibly my level. We're just going to look at the melee gear specifically because that's what I have, but this goes towards anything really to anyone that is in any type of gear or specific troop class that you want to be. So let's just say you want to be melee. Let's go into our town. So in our town, where you will find your setup essentially is this building right here. This guy right there. This building here will allow you to be able to forge items, or basically weapons, or not weapons, but like it's your setup, your attacking and defending gear essentially. To be able to make that gear, you need materials, and now the materials can be dropped from Ubers or invaders. So those are the best way to get them. I usually hit the invaders depending on which invader is out. I can make a video about invaders another day, but right now we're going to focus on this. So when you go to equipment, you'll see a bunch of different things, like you see helmet, armor, weapons, boosts, and amulets, or sorry, not boosts, boots and amulets. All these things have different I guess levels. So you have your standard equipment, which isn't the best. It's basically what you want to start off with to have something. It's for beginners. And then you have invader equipment. Now invader equipment is a little harder to get. You need to have hero juice and you got to hit invaders, which means you have to drop a little bit of money to be able to get that. You can do it if you are free to play, but it does take quite a while. Now once you have a clan and you're established and you have a stronghold, you then can get special equipment. Special equipment is going to be the best of the best essentially for attacking, defending, and also for building troops and learning and building buildings and stuff like that. And then you got your shaman equipment as well. So let's take a look at the standard really quickly. So in standard, there's a bunch of gear. So what I want to look for specifically is the percentage of what you get for each item. So here as an example, the Bewitched helmet, it's for melee offense, and it gives total health, and it's 36% and 12%. So total health, it will give me 36% in total for all my military, for any type of troop I have, but it also gives me a 12% increase for melee specific. Now let's keep going and see if there's anything else. There's another melee offense, which is a little better, 24%, but you also lose the total health. So you're increasing your food production, but you also increased your melee offense, but then you lose the total health aspect of the item essentially. Scrolling down, like there's this one for 11%, this one for 11% for melee, this one's 8%. So the lower you go, it gets lower for the level that you're in. So the higher it is up here, the better the helmet is supposed to be. Now let's take a look at the helmet, but under invader gear. So now that we're in invader gear, you'll notice there are more boosts for different things as well. So as an example, boar mask versus the copper helmet as an example. So boar mask gives me 24% for melee offense, but it also gives me 24% for melee defense. And then it also gives me ranged and cavalry. But then if we also look at the copper helmet versus the boar mask, the copper helmet, if I have all the best items, again, it's all based on items, 32% for defense and 20% for health, versus the defense was 24 here, and this one is now 32, but I lose melee offense, but I gain melee health. So there's pros and cons to items, so it's all about what you're wanting to do and trying to balance those stats. What a lot of players will do is they'll get something called rainbow sets or rainbow troops, which basically you start training melee, archers, killers, siege, cavalry, and in a lot of people's opinion, that is the worst thing to do, because you lose stats and strength altogether if you have many different type of troops. Whereas if you focus on one specific troop, you're able to increase the hit percentage and the defense and the health of that one specific troop. So when the game first started off back in the day, Link's gear was the best out there, and this is what Link's gear here is. It's called Fur Hood. You had to hit links, and basically you got total defense, troop defense during defense, and troop offense during defense. So if you wanted to get hit, you would wear this, and then if you wanted to attack, you would have to hit Saracens, which is this guy here, called the High Turban. It was Saracen, which is the specific invader, and this one would be for attacking. So it didn't matter what kind of troop you were, you could have this for all of them, or you could try to focus on one specific troop type. But this was the one that a lot of people wanted to go to because it had pretty even stats all throughout, like the 24%. Now, once they invented special equipment, this is where the game kind of changed, and there's two types of levels for for equipment, and these are all troop specific, and this is the best way to go. Now, for those that are still starting off but they can get these equipment, you can either go for the level 2 stronghold gear, but if your clan has not unlocked the second level for the stronghold gear, then you're going to be stuck with the first level if that's the only thing you've unlocked. So let's take a look at the first level. So this is the first level here. So we got melee offense, defense, health, and marching speed. So in terms of percentage, we have 24%, 28%, 30%, and 20%, all specific to melee. So you have the gear and you want to focus on them, we'll look at hero skills and points afterwards, but this is basically what you want for level 1 stronghold gear. Now looking at level 2, it's quite better in my opinion. If you look at the stats, we now have 30% for offense, 35% for defense, 40% health, and then the march speed increases to 25%. This is level 2 stronghold gear. This is the best that you'll get for melee, and they have these type of gears for killers, cavalry, archers, siege, and I forget the other class, melee, I guess. That's me. So when focusing on your troops, you want to have the best gear possible. Now, by having the best gear possible, it will increase your percentage that you have with your troops for all aspects of the game. For the, again, defense, health, melee, that's what you want to focus on. Now, people have said that you want to try to balance out your stats. The rule of thumb is if the more offense you have for your percentage, the more you're going to kill. But if you lose, or if you're in an onslaught and you guys lose, you will lose more troops. But if you balance out your points to basically have even stats for health, melee, and offense, then if you lose less troops, but you don't kill as many troops. So there's pros and cons to those aspects there. Now let's take a look at points, hero skills. So let's take a look at the skill tree along with the gear. So I have, as you can see, the best melee gear for my hero. And then we look at the skill tree. So the skill tree allows, this is specifically for fighting. I have all the points maxed for melee and in all aspects, again, defense, health, and attack. But I also have reducers as well. So we have this as an example. We have total troop defense, and then we have total troop health as well, somewhere in here, right there. Troop health number 2, troop defense number 2. So you want to max those as best as you can. And then all up until we have the reducers here, which is enemy troop defense, enemy troop offense, and enemy troop health. These are all reducers for the game itself. Now, there's not much we can really talk about there. Like, obviously, the more points you have towards your specific troop, the stronger your troop will be. So try to get as much done there as possible so that you can be stronger. Now let's talk about the knowledge. Knowledge is key in this game. If you do not have the knowledge to back up your troops, then you are going to be basically an easy target for points. So let's take a look at the knowledge tree. And there's a few places that we need to look at. So one, we have military, and then we have invaders, because there's some stuff in there as well. We have the hero. We have T1 to T5 troops, T6 troops, and then eventually, if you get to it, we have T7 troops, and then the last one, which is, I think, the second hardest to do, Shaman. It takes a while to get. So let's take a look at military first. So in military, when you first start off, this is probably the easiest one to do. You have points for melee, range, cavalry, siege, and killers. Unfortunately, to be able to basically max out that tree, you have to finish the knowledge on all of them, even though you're going to focus on one. So like myself, my main troop is melee, second troop is scouts, and my third is killers. I've yet to finish killers on all aspects of things, so I don't use them as often. So melee is what I stick to. So melee offense is finished, and then we'll see, once you go down, you unlock certain troops. This is how you unlock troops as well. And then you have troop health, troop defense that you can unlock and boost up there. And then you have something called the Big Six. These guys here are for attacking or sorry, so there it's, as I guess as you can see, troop offense during an attack, troop defense during an attack, and troop health during an attack, and then troop offense during defense, defense during defense, health during defense. So when you're first starting off, this is something that you want to try to finish as soon as possible. The sooner you get this, the stronger you will get, but it also does increase your influence. Now, remember, influence is not a big deal. It's the knowledge behind the troops, because people can have a lot of influence from training troops, but it's not going to help them if you do not have the knowledge to protect your troops behind. And then that is basically it for this one, for what you need done for attacking and defending. Next up, we're going to look at invaders. Now, invaders is specifically for hitting invaders and Ubers, but as you go down this, you're going to notice there are some other things in here. So you're going to see these guys here, troop defense 2 and attack or troop attack 1. And then you scroll down a little bit more, you have troop health 2 and troop attack 2. And then you have these guys, which is crucial. These are troop reducers as well. So this will help weaken your enemy when they attack your tiles or attack you, or when you're doing pop battles. So this is key as well. And then that finishes this set for invaders. Then you go on to hero. Hero does take a while to finish, but here you have like everything that is specifically for your hero. So if your hero is in a march, your troops will be stronger. So that's why you want the knowledge finished with your hero. So there's, again, all types of things for, there's troop offense with hero, troop defense with hero, troop health with hero. And then as you scroll down, there's melee offense with hero, cavalry offense with hero, and so on and so forth. And for all aspects, health, defense, and offense as well. You have some scout stuff here. And then you have these. Now, these are important for pop battles, or for throne, or for towers, or stronghold sieges as well. So if you're in a clan that does a lot of pop battles or does a lot of attacks on strongholds or on towers or whatever, this is something you want to try to finish as soon as possible, because this will help you gain a lot of points. It will strengthen your troops when you're hitting those. If you don't have this done, you're gonna lose a lot of troops, and you're not gonna score the way you could if you do have this finished. And then as we scroll down, it just the same thing. And then we have basically reducers for specific type of troops. This one is percentages against enemy melee, percentages against enemy cavalry, or offense against enemy range, and so on and so forth. So that is quite important. And then the last part is the troop health. Now, I'm not going to get into specifics with these three, but this is basically just increasing your health, defense, and offense for your troops. And it's not troop specific, it's just the level of troops. So as you can see with this one here, T1 to T5, this is increasing the strength of your health, defense, and offense for your T1s, T2s, T3s, T4s, T5s. And when you go into them, this is how it looks. So you have your line of T1s, T2s, T3s, T4s, and then T5s down below. So the more you increase those, the stronger your troops will be. This is probably the easiest one to do, and it's super easy to do with gold as well. So that's what I would recommend. So I would start it off with resources and boosts till you get to about maybe level 7 or level 8 out of the 15, and then I would finish them off with gold. Then we have the T6s, and these guys are a little more it's troop specific, but to be able to get all of them done. You have to basically finish the whole thing. So it starts off with melee, and then it goes troop specific. So you have to go one by one to be able to max it, essentially. So first is melee, and then it gives you defense, offense, and health percentages for that melee class. And then you get archers, and then you get cavalry, and then you get killers, and then there's this guy right here. This one here, it's enemy troop defense 2. If you click on it, it gives you an extra 30%, but you have to get all 5 increased for that. So it is quite important, but you have to get all those done, which is unfortunate. Then you have your siege, and then you have your scouts. And then the very last one here is enemy troop offense. And same thing, to be able to get that to 5, you need to finish basically the whole tree. So unfortunately, there's no way around that. It is what it is. The last one is the T7 tree. It's basically the same thing. To get all of it done, you have to basically get all of it done. Like if you want all your melee strong, you have to get it all done. It's a money grab. It's the way Plarium works, but it has to be done. The first line is troop offense during defense, and then you got troop defense during defense, or troop offense during defense or an attack. It's basically just increasing your attack and defense for T7 specifically. Now T7s was a game changer because they can cut through T1s to T3s like butter, especially if you hit as a clan. You can easily burn 800 million T1s as a clan and kill the enemy. It's insane. So if you have this tree filled and finished, you're going to do a lot of damage if you attack as a clan. Obviously, if you get it fully finished, then fights on tiles will be important for scoring points. And then we got your shaman, and same thing in your shaman area. The more you increase it, the stronger your shaman will be when you attack. So when you send attacks, you don't want to just send without a hero. You want to attack with the hero and with the shaman. If you fight someone with, let's just say, you only your hero, and they use their hero and shaman in the attack, they're going to win every time because they're going to be stronger because they're going to have the extra shaman boosts. So getting this finished, as you can see, there's fighting for shaman right here. And then there's more as you go down right here, fighting here, fighting here. And there was one more, or is that it? I guess number of troops that you can have with shaman as well. So increasing the troops and having the shaman finished is essential. Now, another aspect that you want to look at, there's a few things. There's your VIP points, and then there's your Valkyrie Tree, and then there's Asiers as well, and then buildings. So there's 4 more things that we have to hit for your troops to be effective. Let's look at Valkyrie Tree. The Valkyrie Tree is probably one of the hardest because you have to get through each level, and as they increase, obviously the amount of resources increases. Now the first Valkyrie tree that you select will be the cheapest. Every time you select a second or a third, it gets more expensive for resources and for gold. So make sure when you choose which troop specific type that you want to focus on, you do that one first in your Valkyrie tree. Otherwise, you're gonna regret that you chose one first and your main one is like third or fourth. Then we got your VIP level. VIP will give you lots of boosts. So as an example here, it's not a lot, but it gives you troop offense against T1s to T7s, troop offense in onslaught, and then we got percentages for capturing the towers or defending the towers. Where else do we have stats for? I believe that is it. Nope, we have more right here. Troop offense, health, and defense right there. And I think that's it. And then warrior march, which is a big one. So the better the VIP you have, obviously, the more of an advantage you'll have in terms of boosts. You'll have quite a bit. The next thing you want to look into are your buildings. Now, once you hit Castle 32, your resource buildings will give you extra percentages for either attack, health, defense, or your infirmary. So as an example, food or your whatever they're called, your farm, they are your infirmary capacity. So the first 32 percentage gets you your first 32 building gets you 5%. So for every building that you have that hits 32, you'll have an extra 5% in the infirmary. If we look at stone, it gets you, I believe it goes in increments of 0.5s. It gets you an increment, so 0.5% more in defense. So when you get from 32 to 35, it gets you 2.5 extra points or percentages extra for defense. For wood, you have total offense, and it gets the same thing. 2.5 is the max that you can get, and this is per lumber mill that you build. And then the last one would be your I forget what it's called, mine, and this one here is your total health. This will get you an extra 2.5% for every other one that you can get done as well. So some people have full quarries or like half quarries and half stone. It just kind of depends on what you guys are wanting to do. If you want even stats or if you want to be heavy on one side. So it really kind of just depends on what you want to do. There's lots of ways of doing it, but in the end, it's up to you guys. Now, the last thing is this guy here. It is your Assiers. Now, with your Assiers, let's just look at this one. There is a temporary bonus, and then there is permanent bonus. So the permanent bonus for this one is your health for scouts, and then the temporary for me that I want is the melee offense 50%. Now, there are a bunch of different ones that help increase. All right, so as an example, we have this guy here. His name is Tyre, I think. He has a permanent boost of 50% for melee health, and then they have a temporary boost of 50% for melee defense. So I will have always an extra 50% because of this Assiers if I increase them to the max. If I look at this chick right here, 60% for melee health and melee defense, which is good for an hour. If I activate it, is an extra 75% for melee defense. So it's quite helpful when you're doing your specific attacks, or if you're fighting as a clan in onslaughts and stuff. You want to be able to use these as an advantage. So that basically concludes the attack and defense for regular day-to-day fighting. Now, if you guys want to do basically all of this, but for pop and towers and all that, the gear that you want it's called Uba gear. Or sorry, not Uba gear. Is it Uba gear? Let me see. Yeah, it is Uba gear. So your Uba gear, as you can see, gives you a percentage increase by 80% for fortresses, and then total 100% for guarding the fortress there. 80 for capturing, 80 and 100 for guarding. And each item is different, and each item does different things. But one thing that you'll see that you add on are these gems. There are no gems that are specific for pop. And also the battle cry legendary rune is another thing that we use. We use troop specific runes versus the pop stuff or the pop runes, because they aren't as strong as the legendary runes. You get more percentage doing that than you do with the other stuff. So we get an extra 10, 12, 12, and 32% for the melee specific class if you are choosing melee specific setups. And my setup is to be basically even all throughout, so that I don't lose as many troops. If I die, I don't kill as much, and I may change that. Just kind of depends on how I'm feeling. But yeah, right now my setup is even stats all across the board, so I don't lose as many troops when I lose. And then for Shaman, you have your range Shaman, and this guy here gets you bonus points for when you're fighting. So you'll see the enemy troop offense 20%, 20%, 20%, like for offense, defense, and health. And then warrior number and onslaught gets increased to 5%. And then you get all these extra bonuses. And then there's specific gear for him as well, which is your pop gear. So it also increases the percentages for your Shaman when you're fighting in the pop. So you want to try to get that done as soon as possible. But again, this is more for guys that are in a big clan that do pop battles on a regular basis, that hit towers and that fight throne and all that stuff. If you're just starting off, you don't have to worry about this so much, because you're just not going to be able to do it. And you're going to have to spend quite a bit of money to get to this level, essentially. So if you're just starting off, work on the basics, work on the simple things, get yourself stronger. And I may do a video on packs depending on what financials look, so I can help you guys grow on my starter kit setup that I'm going to be working on. So I hope this video is helpful to you guys. I hope you guys enjoy it. I know it's kind of long, but it is a tutorial, so enjoy. Thank you so much. If you're not already subscribed, make sure to hit that sub button. I do appreciate it. It does help me out. And yeah, hopefully we can do a giveaway here soon. I'm probably next month, hopefully, but we'll see. Anyways, take care, you guys. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys on the next one.